The stakes are high for Napoli and Leicester City tonight as they go into their final Group C fixture at the Diego Maradona Stadium, which is looking a little bit more like Leicester than Naples at the moment with the weather. The Foxes face a huge night as they look to extend their Europa League campaign into the new year. And I'm delighted to be joined by two former Foxes for this one, Emile Heskey and Charlie Savage's dad, Robbie.
Correct.
You're going to get that a lot, Robbie, I'm sure. We'll hear from the guys in a moment on what is a big night in the group stage as it reaches its climax. Rangers are already confirmed as runners-up. They play group winners Lyon in their final game. And you can also keep a close eye on the other teams in Leicester's group as Legia Warsaw take on Spartak Moscow on Extra 2. Later, we'll focus on 4 of the 8 o'clock kickoffs. Group winners West Ham can enjoy their last European game before March. And there's highlights on all of it from 10:30. But here on BT Sport 1, we're concentrating on Group C, which is currently led by Leicester, but just 2 points separate all 4 sides. Napoli have to go for the win. A draw could see them miss out on the Europa League's latter stages. So these are the all-important permutations for Leicester. If Leicester win, they go through to the last 16 as group winners. If Leicester draw and Spartak fail to beat Legia, Leicester go through to the last 16 as group winners. If Leicester draw and Spartak win, Leicester go through to the Europa League playoff round as group runners-up. If Leicester lose and Spartak draw with Legia, Leicester will be going through to the Europa League playoff round as group runners-up. If Leicester lose and Spartak or Legia win, Leicester will go through to the Europa Conference League playoff round as the third place team. Have you got all that, guys?
What was that again?
Keeping it simple, if Leicester don't lose tonight, they will be carrying on in the Europa League after Christmas. How does that, Emile, do you think, affect the mindset tonight? The fans may just feel, don't lose this evening. Is that dangerous for the players?
I think that's a dangerous way of looking at it. I think knowing Brendan and knowing that he's very positive, he'll want to go out there and win the game, put it in your own hands. There's no reason why they can't. They've got a few players out at this moment in time, but they've got enough on that pitch to go out and win that.
And given that Napoli have to win the game tonight, they've got to go for it. What is Leicester's best approach, do you think, Robbie?
Yeah, probably playing the counter-attack. Vardy, I think, starts tonight, doesn't he? So I think that's his first start in the competition this year. So that's Brendan would probably look to play on the counter-attack. We know Harvey Barnes is in fine form as well, so maybe soak a bit of pressure and look to hit, Napoli on the counter-attack.
And he's had some problems to deal with as well. Brendan Rodgers, 7 players missing because of COVID and illness, but he is boosted by the return of Youri Tielemans, who's missed the last 5 with injury. Vardy, as Robbie said, is up front tonight. This is his first Europa League start with Europa League specialist Daka on the bench this evening. Is it strong enough, Emile, to get the job done?
Definitely strong enough. Again, they'll be disappointed that certain players are missing. But with the likes of Harvey Barnes and Vardy back in the side, you've always got a chance, especially on the counter-attack. And this could be changed around a little bit as well. They could play them split. So Harvey Barnes wide left and Vardy wide right, and then just compact the midfield to make it a little bit harder for Napoli to break them down. So there's different ways of actually doing it.
If you look at that team, probably 9 of that 11 probably start every week at the strongest side. Probably take out Bertrand and Dewsbury Hall. So it's a very strong team, probably one of the strongest teams he's picked in this competition,
definitely.
actually.
And Tielemans a huge boost.
Look at the spine of the team there. Vardy, Madison's at 10, Tielemans, Soyuncu and Evans, and Schmeichel. So that is the spine of the team's fantastic. You look at the outside, Barnes. I think that's the strongest team they've picked in the competition.
Let's see what Brendan Rodgers had to say. We can get his pre-match thoughts. He was talking to Patrick Kendrick in Naples.
Brendan, you come to the Maradona, top of the group, with your fate in your own hands. How nice is that a position to be in tonight?
Yeah, well, it's what we would have wanted. Of course, you'd like to have qualified, but no, we come here confident that we can get the result that takes us through.
And there are a number of absentees. 7 players haven't travelled. You've still been able to pick a strong squad for tonight. Does it affect your ability to change the game, maybe with 5 substitutions in this competition?
Yeah, well, naturally, obviously, the players, being not available certainly disrupts that, but and there's been a complicated build-up to the game, but as I say, we've got our mind focused on it. We get some top players back as well, Youri coming back in, and and Ryan being available now as well. So yeah, and then if we need to change, we've got some quality on the bench that we can bring into the game.
Up front, how hard was it to make that call between Daka and Vardy?
Yeah, I think both players' attributes are very similar. Both want to run in behind, and Patson's done great for us. But it's going to be about the combination of both players throughout the season. We get ᴅᴏᴞ at home as well, who's a very important striker for us. So yeah, I know that if Jamie starts the game, he'll give everything, and if we need to make a change or bring both on together, they can complement each other.
Well, they've been as inconsistent in Europe as they have in the league. Emile, down into the bottom half of the table as well after that defeat to Villa. How key would it be for them to get straight to the last 16 and not have to play in Europe until March so that they can focus on the league?
That's what Brendan Wood liked, you know, and he spoke there saying that it's in their own hands and they would like to get this over and done with. They've got the team and the players to do it. Again, Tielemans coming back in to work in there with Ndidi. And that has been their strongest midfield, and Robbie spoke about it.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Listen, they've got a great opportunity, haven't they? And, you know, people saying about Leicester, the bottom half of the table, but we must not forget that Leicester's wage budget is probably 9th or 10th, 11th in the Premier League. So they are probably, you know, where they are. Because they overachieved of this Leicester side, win the FA Cup, going back to Ranieri when they won the Premier League, you know, playing European football year in, year out at the minute, they are doing amazingly well. But Brendan Rodgers will want to do better, and he'll be looking to try and get, you know, in the top 6 once again.
Well, the good news is it's in their hands tonight as well. Napoli, though, are a tough nut to crack, especially at home. Let's get the lowdown on the Italian giants with our very own Serie A Supremo, James Richardson. Well, as James said, Napoli also missing key players tonight with Osimhen, Anguissa and ᴠᴏᴜ out. The spine of their team, there's no Insigne either. And surprisingly, they're starting Petagna up front. No Dries Mertens, who, Robbie, has 5 goals in his last 4 games. So will Leicester feel it's a good time to be playing Napoli? Great opportunity, albeit we know Napoli have got a fantastic defence. I think the best in Serie A this season. Their home record's amazing. So, but if myself and Emile were in the dressing room for Leicester tonight, you'd look at that team, you'd feel you had a great opportunity of not only drawing the game, but winning the game. Yeah, definitely. When you see their key players out, obviously you knew before, but when you see Mertens as well, with the form that he's in, and he's obviously got over 100 goals in Serie A, fantastic player, you're happy that he's not actually on the pitch. Yeah. They started this season so well, but gone off the boil a bit, just 1 win in their last 6. How tough an assignment is it still for Leicester tonight, though? Of course, it's tough. You know, they're still third, as we see the graphic there in Serie A, and they've still got some fantastic players, and, you know, they've got a great attitude. You know, that game at the King Power, they were 2-0 down. Osimhen is a huge blow because he was terrific in that game. You know, both myself and Emile watched it. But they're going to be hard to break down. That's why I think that, you know, because they need to win the game, spaces will open up. And that's why I think he's gone for Vardy, you know, ahead of Daka tonight. Well, they've got no Dries Mertens to contend with tonight. But after the break, we'll hear from someone who is still, I'm sure, expecting a busy night. Leicester goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. It's been a tough season for Leicester's captain and dressing room leader. Kasper Schmeichel has faced the most shots of any goalkeeper in the division with just 1 clean sheet in 15 Premier League games. He spoke to Patrick Kendrick ahead of a huge night for the Foxes.
Daka! 1-0 Leicester City. Madison. They go to the top of the group with 1 game left to play.
We would have liked to have wrapped it up earlier, but the situation hasn't been so. But still in our hands going into the last game, I think we take that. Business as usual for us, we have to win, simple as. We're up against quality opposition and they need very little encouragement and half chances and they score. We know the kind of opposition that we're up against. Any game like this where you have the fans in, and particularly passionate fans like we know Napoli have, it's something you look forward to as a player.
Corner taken by Ben Chilwell. Glanced on and glanced in. It's a set-piece goals conceded by Leicester City again.
I think it's frustrating to concede, regardless of it being on a set piece or not. What I can say is that we work on it every day. We work incredibly hard on it. And at the moment, it's not going for us. Doesn't mean we're going to stop working. If we could look back at it and say that we haven't done enough work on it, then we'd have an issue. The changes that we're trying to make all the time are going to pay off at some point. But yeah, conceding on a set piece or through open play is frustrating regardless. Expectations can get any higher than they are in the dressing room already. We want to win it every single game because we've proven in the past that that's what we can do. If we are looking back at it and saying that we're not working hard enough, then we'd have a problem. But I can guarantee that every single day we're working incredibly hard. And you go through these periods. We've had 3 years of incredible success. So you're bound to go through rocky periods sometimes where, you have a bit of inconsistency. But, tough times don't last. The tough teams do.
He does have a legendary status at the club. It does feel, though, Robbie's coming under a bit of criticism this season because of the lack of clean sheets. Is it justified?
Oh, on a radio show I do with Chris Sutton, a few Leicester fans have rang up and said he shouldn't be in the team because they've got Danny Ward there. Danny Ward playing well for Wales. I think it's a little bit unfair. Kasper Schmeichel's been magnificent. Let's not forget, last year, the save in the FA Cup final, his performances, his leadership qualities in that dressing room. Emile know better than me. But I think it's unfair. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. Good personality around the training ground and the team. And I think it's a little bit unfair. But if I'm Danny Ward and look at it as a number 2, I'm thinking, you know what? When will I get a chance? If those clean sheets don't happen, but I think it's a little bit unfair. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. For me, the number 1.
And it has been defending set pieces. That's been their Achilles heel this season. 10 Premier League goals this season in the Premier League. Is it just that they're making the same mistakes over and over again? You
would like to think so, but it's not. Because, again, if we're looking at this here, where this is probably the second phase. We're all talking about the actual direct one, but no, it's the second phase, and the people attaching on to players and not allowing them space. We're looking at this free kick here where they're actually winning the first header. Then again, it's the second phase. Where's the aggression? This is a great header in the end, to be honest. And there was nothing he could do about that. And then we were speaking about whether it was the near post, and this one gets flung into the back post, and it actually, it gets a direct header from there. And there's nothing saying that. He's saying that they're working on it, and they're working on it in training. And we've just been speaking about it. We never really worked on corners when we were playing together, but we had an aggression about us that we knew that. I was going man for man with you, and I'm telling you, you're not winning that ball. And Robbie was the same.
I was on the post, I couldn't net it.
And I was actually in the near post space because we had so many big players, and they were so aggressive. Walsh didn't mark anyone. Yeah. Steve Walsh didn't mark anyone. He would just go and attack it. He would just go and attack that ball, and 9 times out of 10 he'll go and win it. Yeah. But you need players in there who actually want to go and aggressively win that ball.
Yeah, as we've said, it's all in Leicester's hands tonight, Robbie. It's ⴅᴏⴛ's birthday today. How instrumental could he be if they're going to get something?
He's been brilliant. He's how direct he is as well. He loves to get the ball, one situations, drive into the box. What's he got? 4 goals in 18 games this season. I think 4 or 5 assists. So he could be very good on the counter-attack for Leicester tonight.
Yeah, he showed what he could do against Napoli on match night 1. Well, this evening is a match that will decide their Europa League destiny, and it's in Leicester's hands. They know a win in Italy will see them top Group C and qualify for the last 16. We'll find out next if Brendan Rodgers' side can get the result they need in Naples.
Can anybody out there hear me?